Um, Hello? Yeah. Okay, some people are still taking places. Well, first of all, thanks to the organizers because they're being very flexible. My flight was delayed by 3 hours, so that's why I missed the first day, right? So, quite a changing topic, talking about identity now. And, well, as you know, I work for Polygon. The prototype I'm representing is Polygon ID. I'm the product lead for Polygon ID. And, well, I hope this is short and sweet because I know that I'm depriving some of you from your coffee break. So, why is identity a hot topic? And I think it's a hot topic. Essentially, we get like a new competitor every quarter. That means that many people are interested in this. Many have said that this is like the next use case after money, right? Web3 is certainly looking for that next real use case that doesn't involve money or transfers value. And identity, I would say identity plus authenticity could be that next use case. So this is from just seeing a week ago. Somebody posted a picture of the Pentagon with an explosion generated by AI from a verified Twitter account, and the stock market dropped millions, like for 10 minutes or something like that, right? So probably was a test, trying to see what is the impact that you can create with a simple AI image, right? And the irony is that it was published through a verified Twitter account, right? Whatever verified means, right? So that means that when the verification of the identity is not done right, it's even increasing the power of the fakes like this, right? Because you are tarnishing this with a layer of credibility, right? There are other reasons why identity is becoming a hot topic. Regulations, a lot of them. MiCA is coming to EU. Age verifications are becoming the norm in many English-speaking countries, but probably very soon to other countries. So, like it or not, if Web3 is going to become the layer of value for the internet, it's going to be regulated. That's, I think, it's not a matter of if we like it or not, it's going to happen. So I think our position to that, or our reaction to that, could be, okay, if there has to be some control on identities, what is the most private, the most privacy-preserving way that we can implement this? How is the best way, the more decentralized ways that we can implement this? And the last thing is reputation, right? This old meme that is quite visionary, right? A lot of the use cases that we're trying to implement require reputation. And reputation is not what we see as reputation today. Thinking your own personal reputation. It can be positive or negative, right? You cannot take it away. You cannot renounce to your reputation. You carry it with you wherever you go, right? And a lot of our financial systems, our value systems, social interactions are based on the fact that you have something to lose. If you don't have anything to lose, if you could just reset your identity in the morning and start fresh, right? The only reputation is positive reputation, and we assume that the lack of reputation is negative reputation. But that doesn't work. That doesn't work for many use cases. And the first foundation to have a permanent reputation, a real reputation online, is to have an identity. An identity that we cannot just reset, an identity that goes with us. It's a version of our identity online. So, summary, for all the promises that we have here on this side, that are all promises that we have been hearing from many years, right, in Web3, to have digital governance, right? To act as a ledger for the world, to be guarding the content authenticity, which is a new space for research, right? To have compliant crypto, to have digital reputation, to have civil proof protocols and the apps. For all that, we need to trust our users to be humans, unique, compliant, well-reputed, trustworthy, right? So that is why identity has become now the center of many debates. And if you search in the Web3 space, you will see that there is an identity solution popping up every 2 months, right? A lot of people is now devoting a lot of investment and research trying to find out what is the best approach to that. So summarizing it, there are three ways or three approaches that we see in Web3 around how to solve the challenge of identity. Identity is nothing more than, online, I mean, digital identity, is nothing more than an identifier and a set of attributes, right? And taking that very abstract definition, the first approach, the first reaction was for people to say, okay, NFTs. NFTs are the attributes. And of course, the identifier is my Ethereum address. And that was validated with the proposal for the soulbound tokens, right? Soulbound tokens, tokens that cannot be transferred, can be expressed in your identity. Many positive ways, many positive things about NFTs. They are easy to understand. They are easy to implement. The Web3 community is very familiar with them, with the concept, right? But they are bad for privacy. They are fixed on one chain, and they are fixed on one address. So the amount of things that you can say about an address publicly on a public ledger that is going to stay there forever and ever and ever are quite limited. Because if you put it on chain, it doesn't even matter even if it's encrypted, right? Because it's going to be there 100 years from now. It's going to still be there saying something about that address. So NFTs turned out to be very good for public expressions of reputation. So, or the way I want to say it, things you want to brag about, right? I'm a member of this DAO, I'm a member of this team, I'm an advanced developer, so things that you will be exposing on the street, like badges on your shirt, right? You don't care people to know that, right? But they're providing information about your Ethereum address, right? They are, and everything you add is going to be another signal, right? And over time, you're going to be saying a lot about that address. And the other thing is you can just ditch that address and start a new one, which is against the idea of having a true identity that represents you. The second approach is what I'm calling the identity oracle. The identity oracle approach is we're still using your Ethereum address as your identifier. And there is a very good reason why these two solutions are using your Ethereum address. It's because every DApp in the world, when they started first the app, in the hello world, the first things they do is they put the button, connect your wallet, right? So the Web3 community has already decided that is the authentication mechanism, for good or for bad, right? So that's why these two approaches take that as an assumption, right? The Ethereum address is the identifier. Now, if the Ethereum address is the identifier, but I don't want to use NFTs, I don't want to put things on chain, right? I will create a mechanism, and there are many ways to do that, right? For which a DApp that is given an Ethereum address can talk to an oracle somewhere and answer yes or no questions about it. Like, are you over 18? Have you passed KYC? Are you a human being? Do you live in North Korea? Right? Things like that. Why are these yes or no answers? It has to do with the fact that the oracle is not sitting on the device of the user. It's sitting somewhere. And by somewhere, I mean the cloud or blockchain, right? Which means if you put things in the cloud or on-chain, you can use zero-knowledge proofs. You can use Merkle trees. You can use protocols like Semaphore. You can use things like that, right? So in the end, you are either using decentralized storages, you're using blockchain, you're using cloud to have these yes or no answers about a given address, right? And this is good. This is a very good approach. It's a solid approach, and it actually solves 80% of the use cases that we are facing today, like proof of humanity, age, etc., right? Now, it's not really solving all the cases. It's not solving for, it's very difficult to solve proof of uniqueness with this. It's very difficult. Nobody has yet come with a solution to have an oracle that can share private data, can host private data and share the raw information, like give me your passport number or give me your hash, your biometric hash, right? These things are more challenging because either you put it in a centralized server that you control and it's private, but then you're going to a centralized solution, right? Or you put it in a decentralized storage, blockchain, or whatever, and then you cannot have this personal data and share it raw, right? So I would say it's a solution. It's a good solution for many cases, but not the complete solution for a compliant and end-to-end solution that supports reputation. Also, the fact that you are still using the Ethereum address means that everything that you put there is telling to the world that the owner of this Ethereum address is over 18, is from this country, etc., etc. So also, you need to be very careful with the information you put there. The last one is a well-known model. It's older than the blockchain, probably. Is the idea of this SSI, or self-sovereign identity, in which the credentials are owned, managed, and controlled by the user itself. So you have verifiable credentials, which is a standard defined by the W3C. You have them in your wallet, right? And you decide when you share these credentials. You present the credentials in the same way you present your national ID. Also, your identifier is not your Ethereum address. It's something called the DID, the centralized identifier, right? Which is completely detached from your Ethereum address. In that way, when you present credentials, you are not necessarily disclosing anything about your Ethereum address. That is the only model of the tree that can solve for every scenario. It has proven to be compliant and support every single combination of privacy and compliance. The only challenge with this is, as I say, it's not using the Ethereum address, it's using a DID, so it requires additional learning from all the actors in the ecosystem. Oh, sorry. So what are the blockers and enablers? Sorry, there's a typo here. For a new identity in Web3, right? So these are the three models. There is no clear winners right now. Some people are using NFTs because they are okay with positive reputation. Some people are going for the oracles because it's easier to integrate. Some people are exploring SSI because they want a future-proof solution, right? So far, no clear winners. Polygon ID is positioned on the right. We provide an SSI solution, right? With the verified credentials, the IDs, the full stack. Now, the blockers, the reason why this is not catching up, in our opinion, is not only about the technology or technology approach. It's about that technology is an ecosystem, it's a market, right? That involves many actors. It involves the people capable of issuing the trust, issuing the credentials, or certifying certain things about you. Also, the applications that need to verify this trust, these credentials, and then the clients, the wallets. I mean, it's an ecosystem. You need to put a lot of people in the same direction, and everybody needs to be betting for the same ideas and methodology. This is a massive movement, right? So first of all, yeah, the market is very fragmented. First, you need to choose what is your model. Second, the lack of interoperability, right? If you ask for credentials about your age or KYC to one provider, they may not be good for all the apps that you are interfacing with, and you may need to go through the same process 4 or 5 times. Also, if you go with one identity solution, may not be compatible with credentials from another identity solution. Then there's the inertia, right? People signing with MetaMask, and that's enough, right? And anything that you try to put on top is getting a bit of rejection by the community. Credentials providers are not startup friendly. If you try to sign a contract with any of the KYC providers and you go through the onboarding process and et cetera, it's not easy at all for a startup that usually is not very strong on the admin side. And then the user experience, right? Anything you introduce that is new is a user experience challenge, and the apps and protocols are very reluctant to add anything new to the experience. That's why we are focusing now. So we have our product is being in the making for the last 3 years, I think. So we have a protocol that is called Ident3 that has been in the making for 3 years. It's super solid. I'm not here, sorry, and I know this is the builder stage and I should be on the main stage, but I'm not here to give details on the technology because the technology is super solid. You can check it. It was built to be capable of supporting general elections in a country, right? That is the level of privacy and sophistication of the technology. But yet we think that is not the main reason why identity is not taking up in Web3. One of the things we need to address first is this availability of credentials, this interoperability, and the convenience of adding credentials to your applications, right? And that's why we're working now in the concept of the marketplace, of becoming a marketplace of trusted credentials, right? we want to create liquidity of credentials in the Ethereum ecosystem. And that means having providers already integrated. They can be plug and play. So you basically go there, find the provider of the credentials that you need. If you want to check KYC, you want to check age, you want to check location, you want to check whatever from your users, any attestation you need to be made for your users, you just check the provider, integrate one SDK, and then you're free. If you want to move to another provider, you just point into a different direction, right? You decide which credentials you accept, but you don't need to speak different languages for all these providers, right? We are also developing services and tools to put all these providers in common on a certain number of standards, right? Following the same schemas, following the same rules, following the same billing processes, following the same payment processes, right? So it really feels like you are going to an Apple store of credentials, you're choosing the one you need, and we take care of the rest. These are some of the partners that we have onboarded. There are more. I think this is not the latest version, but you have a URL here where you can check all the companies that we are onboarding. And here we have a clear advantage, right? It's the brand. We are quite big in the Web3 community, and we are using that, plain and simple, right? We're using that to attract brands to our ecosystem and to onboard partners, so you don't have to. So you don't have to integrate with the specific SDKs of any of these issuers, right? We're also integrating wallets and system integrators in case there is a big integration and somebody can support it, right? And this ecosystem is growing. You can, some of them are offering paid credentials like age, KYC, humanity, etc. Some of them are offering online reputation, badges, and things that you can also use. So you can check it yourself. Here is the code. We provide 3 things. If you are a source of trust, if you can say something of value about users, right, you can be an issuer of credentials. Maybe you already have information about the users and you want to give the users that information in a way they can use it somewhere else, right? Maybe you are a game and you want to give them credentials about some achievements that they can use in somewhere else. Maybe you are an exchange and you already have passed KYC for the user and you want to give that to the user so he can reuse the KYC that you have done for them in other places as an additional value. In that case, you are an issuer. We have a self-hosted API where it provides everything for the issuance of credentials. If you're an app, we provide the SDKs for the verification and also a query language. So you can build your query, like prove me this and share this data, et cetera, from your wallet. That turns into a QR code, and then everything, all the magic happens in the wallet, right? We also provide on-chain verification, which is one of the key features or the differential features of our solution, right? Because verified credentials have this weak point compared to NFTs that they cannot be verified on-chain. And we provide on-chain verification with zero-knowledge proofs, right? And the last thing is, if you are willing to develop your own wallet or your web wallet or JavaScript or the app application, we provide both a wallet SDK and a JavaScript SDK for the client, right? To store the credentials, to offer the credentials. And it has the good thing is it generates, we are the only solution capable of generating zero-knowledge proofs on the client, right? So the zero-knowledge proofs are generating on the device, on the phone, right, in real time and answering to a dynamic query, which is quite innovative if you think about it, right? Super easy use case to understand what I'm talking about is you can collect a credential somewhere, and then you can present the proof of credential directly to a smart contract on chain to get an airdrop, right? Or in a hackathon, you can get paid the bounty if you present your KYC credential directly to a smart contract in a trustless way. So these are 2 use cases just to put everything together. So, I think I'm going to finish it here. I have tried to go fast because I want to give you some time for questions, also for coffee, if it's still there is time. But just the last idea that I want to share is that everything has moved online, but trust, right? If you think about it, the value, the monetary value on the assets, we're trying to move that on chain. Our social life, social interactions have moved on change. A lot of process and dynamics are now online, but not trust, right? We haven't managed to find a way to create real trust in the digital world, and this is where we are positioned on our product and our value proposition. So thank you very much, and if there are any questions.
Do we have any questions? Okay, I'll start here.
Hi. Oh, that's it. Okay. Hi. I think what's missing is the killer app. So what, in your opinion, would be something, or maybe is already something, that me as a user, right, gives me the reason to go through these all KYC, AML, song and dance, and what can I do with my KYC wallet that's so amazing that I want to do it?
Okay, excellent question. Okay, first of all, nobody likes KYC. KYC is not going to be a killer app. KYC is but the thing is, we have vitamins and painkillers, right? Vitamins are things that you want to take in a positive way. There are nice things to have. There are delighters, right? And that is where you find your killer app. Now, the painkillers is something that you don't have an option, right? KYC is going to be mandatory, and then people are going to look for the best and less painful way to do it, right? So I would say long term, the less painful way to do KYC is in a private manner, right? So proof of KYC instead of KYC, right? And the second is reusable KYC. That is the dream, but that means to put a lot of actors thinking in the same direction. It's a long journey. Yes, unify schemas, unify standards on board. So this is a long path to the reusable KYC, right? Technology is not enough. This is a market effort, right? Now, is there anything before that? I think so. I think there is a killer app that we can find sooner, and the concept is super simple. It's signing Google without Google, right? So that is the experience people are willing to accept. In our daily lives, we click a button, we do all the onboarding into an app. We don't need to fill any more forms. It's just super simple. And then if the application wants access from us, wants to know things about us, access to our resources, there is a consent, right? These two steps, and only these two steps, are where users are willing to accept, right? Right now, the only ones that can provide that level of experience are Google, Facebook, and Apple, right? And all these social logins, right? So having a social login without any company behind it, a neutral social login, right, that I really control and own, I think that is the first killer app that we can build.
Okay, thanks.
We had one more question. Okay.
Thank you, Sebastian, for the wonderful message at the end. A nice talk, first of all.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, what are your thoughts on letting companies and organizations slowly adopt these technology? For example, am I at an advantage as a company if I provide open protocols of authentication and authorization to my users? Are you supporting something like OIDC or OAuth 2.0 or something like that? And can it speed up the adoption? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Very good. Actually, you asked 2 or 3 questions. First, for us, with an SSI product, verifier credentials and DIDs, it would be much easier, guys, much easier to sell our product to the corporate world than to sell it here. And I'm saying that with some reason because I've been working in the corporate world for many years in my life, right? So all these things are super easy when you control the environment. So you create your own company wallet. You issue the credentials by yourself, and then you control the verifiers. These are closed ecosystems. It's super easy. So yes, it would be much easier for a company, an NGO, a government, any local organization that controls all the ecosystem, right? I think has very good advantages of offering this. Now, that depends on how much people care about decentralization and privacy. We tend to think that these are things meaningful by themselves, and for companies, these are just features, right? But more and more, we see more traction. So yes, it would be much easier for a corporate. The second question about OAuth and OpenID, we have something different in the Ethereum world, right? In the making. Our equivalent to OAuth in the Web3 world to open ID would be signing with Ethereum. And the equivalent to OAuth is an EIP that's still in the draft, right? It's recaps, where it's gonna manage the granular authentication of resources after you have signing with Ethereum. Do I like this? No, because I think we made a poor choice, and now we are going with it all the way down, right? We choose that our identity is going to be our wallet, right, our Ethereum address, and I think that is a terrible decision, right? But the community already has made it, right? So I think we need to provide that signing with a neutral Oracle killer app on the things that the community is already doing, right? We cannot base our product on telling everyone every day that you made the wrong decision. And later, maybe we can get these standards closer to the IDs and the decoupling from the Ethereum address.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, I see you.
Yeah, thank you for the talk. Yeah, what do you think about like not only Polygon, like how Polygon ID? Do you have any plans or ideas about moving to other blockchains, like in like multi-chain idea or something like this?
Yes, certainly. That's a question we get very often, because in all honesty, I wouldn't trust an identity solution that only works in a chain, right? That's a massive weakness in our product right now, right? But it's not an intended weakness. We advertise our product always as EVM compatible, right? And it is EVM compatible. So our limit, our scope is Ethereum, right? We don't have plans to go to Bitcoin or anything like that. Our world is Ethereum. Now, every time somebody asks, but do you work for other blockchains? We say, look, we are EVM compatible. Right now, we are not providing any support. Anyone can copy our contracts. So all our code is open source. We have changed now for MIT and Apache, so you can even build commercial products on top of them, right? So it's actually, we know that companies now are writing manuals on how to move to other chains Polygon ID, right? And this is not something we want to stop. We are not supporting it, right? But we would want to stop. Now, long term, what is happening is we are working on our monetization model, because you wouldn't trust an identity solution that is on one chain, but you also wouldn't trust an identity solution that is not sustainable, right? So we are working on a monetization mechanism, and this marketplace idea is our monetization strategy, right? In the end, we want that you can use our credentials on any EVM compatible chain as long as you purchase your credentials on Polygon, right? So you buy it here, you use it anywhere. That is our vision.